Okay, I did my Smartboard lesson on collecting data for second grade. The reflection is that we talked about tally marks and how you write those, and I wrote that they knew how to write them, but they were confused about how a tally mark actually represents a number. The goal or the standard is draw a picture graph and a bar graph to represent data. Objectives where students will be able to collect data from a survey and record data in a tally chart. Materials, contextual factors. Okay, and to start out with our introduction, we'll read the book Wow, Fluffo Sure Can Eat. This talks about tally marks, and then after we read, I'll ask students again how we write tally marks, and then tell them what our objectives are. And then I will ask them, when I ask them how you write tally marks, I'll have a student come up, and on this screen they will write 6 tally marks, and so the goal of this is to see if they remember that for the 5th one you cross the other 4 and then you write the 6th one next to it. Okay, to start out we will work on this. This will show how to take a survey or collect data. So I'll roll the dice, and every time I get a number I will write a tally mark. So here I would write a tally mark for 2, I roll again, and then I write a tally mark for till 4. Then I would do this until I would get to 5, and then for this one I would write 5 tally marks without crossing it, and I would ask the students if I had done it right to see if they can pick out that I actually did it wrong. And then this is a guided practice. So I will give them Unifix cubes in a bag, and then they'll have to pull out 3 different colored ones, and every time they pull one out they'll write a tally mark. They have this on our worksheet, and I'll actually be doing it with them so they can see, and then we'll talk about our results. Then here's another guided practice. I will set this spinner to spin 10 times. And every time it spins, the chart over here will automatically keep track, and it'll just keep spinning, but I can skip to end and we'll see the results. So then I would have them write down or tell me how I would write these as tally marks, so they understand that since blue had 2, we would write 2 lines for 2 tally marks. They have this graph on their worksheets, so we'll work through it and we'll kind of talk about how to read the graph. So some questions I would ask are which lunch had the most results and which one had the least, and then how they would know. And then we'll kind of talk about and then I would ask like how many tally marks does pasta have? And the thing I want to work on here is if they counted the tally marks, so pasta would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or if they automatically knew when it looks like that, that's 5. So we'd have a discussion about that. And then I would model how to take a survey, so I'd ask them what their favorite foods are on this list, and then I would keep the tallies. And since even though this is a little big, I would do like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I would do the line 5. So we'd talk about that. And then this is what they would be doing for their kind of their lesson, not on their assignment yet, but they would be going around the classroom. They would have to come up with a question for this survey, and then they would be going around the classroom to ask the students their question, and they would be keeping tallies. And then for my closure, before their assignment, I would ask them to answer some questions in their math journals. So I would show them this picture, and I would tell them how many numbers would the 4 tallies represent, how many would be 5, and then how they knew. And then I would ask if they either counted them, so for 4 you would count maybe, but then for 5 I want them to answer that they just knew by looking. That's how 5 tallies look, instead of having to count. And then I would ask them how you take a survey, because that was one of our goals. And I would have them write that all in their math journal. And then when they were done with that, this is the worksheet they would work on. Okay, these are the assessments, observations, questions, the worksheet, and our math journal entry. For differentiated instruction, students who didn't understand it will work on an RTI worksheet that comes with the Go Math textbook. And for students who who were done early, there's an enrichment worksheet, but I would also have them come up with another survey and write out a graph for it, and they would do that at home. And then for students who need language support, I would give them the charts with pictures instead of words. So like the dog, cat one, I would, instead of having it say dog, cat, bird, fish, I would have pictures. And the resource was Go Math textbooks. So there was my Smartboard lesson.